Today, our lesson is on adding dialogue to our personal narratives. So, I want you to take a moment and read the text right there that's in the blue. All right, now I'm going to read it out loud to you. You don't have to answer that question. I'll answer the question. You want answers? I think I'm entitled to them. You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth. So when we read this conversation, we have no clue who's talking, when they're talking, how many people are talking, who they're talking to, how and what the intents are of the words that are being spoken. It's just really confusing. Matter of fact, we don't even know if it is a conversation. So that's why we need some rules for dialogue. Number one, you're always going to use quotation marks to indicate which words are spoken by what characters. So now we see that there are some quotations. That's helpful. But again, we still don't know who is speaking and how they are saying the things that they're saying. Rule 2, you're always going to start a new paragraph when you're adding dialogue, okay? So when you change speakers, the next speaker's line is a new paragraph. So we can now identify who is speaking. The most obvious way is to add a speech tag, i.e. something like John said or said John. Those are ways to identify who the speaker is. And next we have rule 3, punctuation, capitalization, and spacing. You're always going to put punctuation inside of the quotation. That's really important. You do not capitalize the speech tag unless it is a proper noun. In this case, the judge is a proper title, so that's why it's capitalized. But you'll notice punctuation goes inside of quotation. Said is not capitalized, but the names, they always are, okay? And after the speaker, you put a period. That would be grammatically correct. So finally, we have the full paragraph. I'm going to read this out loud to you. The judge turned swiftly toward the witness and declared. That's our speech tag. It's wonderful because it tells us how the judge is saying things. So that's definitely a show, not tell. You don't have to answer that question! Exclamation point. So we know lots of enthusiasm. I'll answer the question, Jessup said coldly, fixing his eyes on Kaffee. He asked the defense attorney, you want answers? I think I'm entitled to them, Kaffee replied. Jessup asked again, more forcefully, as if scolding an errant recruit. You want answers? I want the truth, Kaffee shouted, banging his fist on the counsel table in defiance of Jessup's intimidating presence. The court members sat in stunned silence. The colonel leaned forward, rising to his feet, and thundered, you can't handle the truth. All right, so just to review, a couple things that are important about dialogue. Number one, every time a new speaker speaks, there's a new paragraph. Number two, we always need quotation marks and speech tags, so tell me who said it and how they said it. And finally, we want to make sure the punctuation goes inside of the quotation. So what I want you to do is read through your memoir and look for places that could use some dialogue. Look for places where you can explain what people said and how they said it. There's another really cool website. If you need some more practice with these rules, it's timeforwriting.com. They have a lesson on dialogue and narrative essays with these same rules. So rule 1, using quotation marks, always start a new paragraph when you change speaker. Rule 2, make sure the reader knows who's talking. Rule 3, and rule 4, use correct punctuation and capitalization marks. So I thought that was a really cool website, great resource for you. So tonight for homework, just make sure you take some time and add in dialogue. Happy writing!